Hello everybody, and welcome back to the labs. I am Tousty, and today we're going to be looking at another part of our EnderIO mod spotlight for Minecraft 1.7.10. Once again, we are on the ATLauncher, looking at the Bevo tech pack and EnderIO's place in that. If you'd like to download that, the link is in the description, and we are going to get going here. Last time we ended rather abruptly by looking at the alloy smelter. So that's this guy. I'm going to recap a little bit of what's going on here. Basically, the alloy smelter has three slots and 3 modes. It's like a furnace. We can actually have it set to working exactly like a furnace does, except it pulls 3 items at a time. So, for example, if I just put this gold ore in there, it'll turn it into 3 gold ingots real quick. Great. Obviously not the best idea, but hey, that's what you can use it for. And if I put it on alloy mode, it will, or sorry, all smelting will do that. Alloy mode will do nothing. It won't let me shift click our gold in there. Now, in looking at the conduits, we saw there's a lot of stuff that EnderIO needs for recipes that aren't typical, aren't normal Minecraft pieces or ores or anything. They're all from this mod. And this is where you make them all. I believe, yeah, all of them. You need different things, and basically on the alloy only mode, it'll take only what can make alloys. You can't just put stuff in that you would smelt normally. So what you're going to do is for alloys for making things like the Ender Energy Conduit, which is the last tier, and you want to make the Vibrant Alloy, all you're going to need is this machine. This will let you make all of the different pieces. It'll let you cook up the conduit binders if you need it, not as long as it's in furnacing mode anyways, but in alloy mode you can make all the pieces for this. Basically what you're going to want to do is you're going to look at the recipe in NEI. You're going to see that you can make it with nuggets, not really helpful. But you can make it in an alloy smelter with energetic alloy and ender pearl. An energetic alloy is in the alloy smelter with redstone, gold, and glowstone. So you'll see that if we take redstone, and look at that, we happen to have some gold and glowstone. They do not need... Whoa! Alright, and we're back. Sorry about that. Hit the wrong button and had a little glitch there. Let's get ourselves some glowstone. They do not need to be in the same order that we saw in the recipe. In fact, you can just shift click everything in here, and as soon as it sees a recipe, it'll start to cook up our ingot. So now we have an energetic alloy. If we were to take that and put it with an EnderIO in here, we would make ourselves, ta-da, a vibrant alloy. And that's how you get the last tier of these. Easy. Now, there's a couple of other alloys that this mod adds, and I'm just going to show them to you real quick so you kind of know how they work. But we've got our vibrant alloy, our energetic alloy. We have the redstone alloy, which is used in making the redstone conduits, and it is redstone and silicon. This is one of those things you're going to need silicon for, which you get from grinding redstone ore, right? You get from grinding sand, and you get from grinding clay, and I think that's about it in the sag mill. Yeah, sand, clay, and redstone. That's how you're going to make our redstone alloy. You can make conductive iron, which is used in the basic energy tier, the lowest energy conduit tier, redstone and iron. And you can make yourself some pulsating iron, which is the highest, the ingot that you need to make the highest tier energy cable. And you do that with some iron and an EnderIO. And then to make this cable in particular, they have other functions, but that's what I'm saying they're used for right now. Sorry, the ender is actually used for the item conduit. The pulsating iron, which is the iron and the EnderIO, that's made for the item conduit, not the energy conduit. I don't know what I was thinking. So what we're looking at here is you're going to need to make these and then break them down into nuggets, which is really just putting them in a crafting recipe. You got 9 of them, and that's going to help you make the item conduits. Then the other alloys, this is for the highest tier energy, this is for the middle tier energy, and the low tier energy. We saw that. Electrical steel is used in a lot of crafting recipes in EnderIO. It's made with some silicon, so you're going to need some more sand, clay, or redstone ore. Some coal dust, which you can put in some coal in a sag mill or a bunch of other machines from other mods and make this coal dust. And some iron ingots. These are all made as alloys in this machine. And that covers pretty much all of the functions of that right now. The only other one is dark steel, which is iron, coal powder, and obsidian. So this is the idea is behind this is I guess it's a darker, harder form of steel, hence the iron and coal powder, which is a pretty common recipe to make steel in some way, and then you add some obsidian to it. And it's the the dark steel that's going to lead us into the next part of our spotlight. And that is the different items and things in this. We've already seen the dark steel ball and what it does. Now we're going to look at a few of the items that you can carry around with you. I am wearing dark steel armor, and I have some dark steel items. The dark steel armor lets me run really fast. It lets me jump. If I throw my wings down for a second here, it lets me double jump, 1, 2, 3, and actually triple jump. If I hold it, I'll just hop up. It lets me, it shows me the location of nearby sounds if I have that turned on, and it gives me night vision. As well, it enables gliding if I have that turned on. I believe that's G, yeah. So if I hop up here, I will slowly glide down. And that's how you turn the glider on. Pretty cool. So that's this mod. However, it does not come like this. I'm sorry, that's this armor. It comes like this. So let's show you how that works exactly. Sorry, I don't know if you just saw that there. Lily pad, this actually lets you swim faster if it'll put flippers on it. Really, really handy. There's all sorts of upgrades to this system. So when you make it, you're given just a standard version of the item. So we're going to get ourselves some dark steel and a crafting table, which I don't need 64 of, obviously. And I'm going to show you. You're going to take your normal armor creation. It's pretty simple. Right? That wasn't supposed to happen. And of course, what am I missing? Our legs. No, I had our legs. Our helmet. Easy. So that's that. And you can see that they don't actually, wow, I just threw that away, didn't I? They don't have really any upgrades, and if I put them on, my FOV changes some for some reason, which I'm not too sure I'm a fan of, to be honest, but my FOV will change. Put it on, and you get almost a full bar of armor. And that's really all I do. But what you can do is you can upgrade these. All you got to do is get yourself an anvil. That is the wrong kind of anvil. So is that. What am I doing? There we go. So with an anvil, I'm just going to throw my already made ones back on to clean up my inventory some. What you do is you take your armor that you want. You're going to give yourself 20 levels. And then some for me. You need to give 20 levels to yourself and some pulsating crystal. No. Energetic crystal? I gotta go back and look it up, don't I? There it is. Where is it? This green one. Vibrant crystal. Sorry. You're gonna need to make some vibrant crystal, which is the vibrant nuggets around an emerald. So this may or may not be kind of hard for you to find. And the vibrant nuggets are, of course, a vibrant alloy, which we looked at just in the crafting table. This is going to be the launching point for all of our upgrades for this armor. So you're going to put them in there. And you'll see that if you have 20 levels and all of this, you will have a little bar on it now. This empowers your armor. So let's just get all these going real quick, just so I can show you the other upgrades. Boom. So now we have an empowered set of dark steel armor. Easy enough. What you can do is now, I am getting some lag, and I am really sorry about that. I'm not quite sure what's going on. I'm going to throw my armor actually in this capacitor, and you'll see that it will charge my armor up. Now it uses RF to absorb damage and not the durability of the item, at least not every time. That way you're able to save yourself a bit of grief. I am not getting a lot of power out of these things right now, so I am going to do this just to make it a bit easier. I could pop a creative one down, but I'm going to show you some generation amazingness. All right, and again, I don't really need the power. This is just going to be fun. You can make yourself a little solar bank. I missed completely. Again, that's okay. It's alright to be messy when you're in creative kind of mode. There we go. Let's get a bit more power going in here, shall we? There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Alright. So, now that my armor is all charged up, I can start to look at what other upgrades I can apply. And it will tell you, if I add a basic capacitor to this, and you can see on the bottom, anvil upgrades, if you hold shift and hover over it with your cursor, I will get, at 10 levels, I'll get an empowered level 2. So let's see what that does for us, shall we? That's not a capacitor at all. I need my basic ones. There we go. So 10 levels, a basic capacitor. We are now at empowered level 2. And what that does is that gives us more energy. So I have to bring it back over and charge it back up. So these guys only hold 100,000 RF. If I have this capacitor on here, it holds 150,000. And as you can see, that will just continue to be a thing. And I believe we can add the last one. Yes, we can. So now we're at empowered level 4, and that is the max empowering level. The problem with what we just did, and this is why you're not going to want to do this. You may think, well, it'll conserve energy, It will, but you're going to miss something along the way, quite possibly. So what did I just do with that armor? Oh, here it is. All right. So, no, sorry, you'll be fine. I was thinking, I remember earlier I was playing this and I thought there was a big bug, but ignore me. So, you can just blast your way to Empowered 4, that's fine, and then you can do the other upgrades. It'll be completely up to you. But you can see now I have other upgrade options in these as well. For the legs, for example, if I want to move faster, I can put a Potion of Swiftness on, plus 15 levels. And that'll actually just bring me to what I have on here. I've got speed 3 on my leggings. Great. So let's look at what the options are for the chest plate. Sorry, I'm a brain fart there. If I add a capacitor, again, it's going to increase in its energy capacity and damage absorption in that sense. And then I can also add a glider from EnderIO. It's important to know that it's that one. And that's really all it does. This is not an item that you can float around with like the glider from OpenBlocks, or sorry, from ExtraUtilities. You need to add the glider from EnderIO, which is really easy. It's some leather and some dark steel, and some sticks, I think. No, sorry, just leather and dark steel, right? Really easy to make. Throw that guy on there, and you will now be able to activate and disable a glider on your chest plate. Really, really cool. And that's where we're at with this guy as well. Now, our helmet we can look at. Our helmet, we can add the capacitor, a note block, or a potion of night vision. The note block is what enables us to turn on our sound finder, our radar, our sonar really is what we're looking at. And we can put night vision potion on it, which gives us night vision. So let me just double check here, because I'm not quite sure what the control setting is to turn on our sound locator. Is L. Okay. So I'm going to turn on our sound locator, and I'm going to jump and just see what happens. This might be... I've never used this before, and I see a function in it. It'll help you track down mobs and things like that. So let's do this. To test this out, take us off of peaceful, and let's make it night, shall we? And let's go find one of these little structures that I've generated and see what kind of guys decide to spawn in them and what that does for their sound. There we go. Now we can see these little blocks, and they are showing us where sound is coming from. And as far as I can tell, they should do that. Yeah, see, they'll do it through walls. Now that is really, really cool. Alright, so that way when you have that really pesky zombie that's stuck behind a wall or in your floor and you don't really know where it is or where the sound is coming from and it's driving you crazy, throw a note block in here, a vanilla Minecraft note block, and you should be good to go, and you'll be able to find them real easy. Alright, So that is the helmet. The last one we're going to look at is the legs, or is the boots, sorry. Now the boots, you can add a piston to help you jump, and you can add a lily pad. Now I'm going to show you something here. If I throw my piston on here, pull it out, put it back in, there are levels of this. So some of these have a tiered system. So right now, if I were to put these on, I could only jump once. But the more I put on it, up to 3, the double and triple jumping I get, and the better they are. So that's really handy. And then if you add a lily pad to it with some levels, you can then swim faster underwater. Now, I love this system. It's like it takes the, oh, I am still gliding, aren't I? The vanilla sort of enchanting and anvil system and sort of puts the two together with the mod to allow you to upgrade your armor and make it this sort of like module armor set that can be really, really fun to play with. Now, you've also got tools. You have the Ender, which I love, and you've got the Dark Pickaxe, and you've got the Dark Axe. Now, this is if you're sneaking while you're chopping down trees. I had a little piece of dirt set up earlier. There it is. Let's go over here and see what happens when I sneak and click logs. It should chop a good chunk. Bloop. There we go. So when you've got these tools upgraded, they do other things. Shift clicking or sneak clicking will allow you to chop down larger sections at one time. And you empower them with these crystals as well. Let's just go over to the anvil so I can show you this. It's a lot easier to show you than explain. And that's an issue I have quite often. I am just having a horrible time with frames, and I'm really sorry about that, guys. I know it's going to be a little frustrating to watch, and this is very not normal. My computer's been having a few issues today. I think it's just an unhappy camper. I've got some stuff going on in the background that isn't normal as well, but is just necessary to do. So again, I am sorry about that, but I'll get that fixed up. So let's look at our dark tools. So I'm going to get my bog standard axe, and I'm going to throw it in here with my vibrant crystal, and I will be able to empower this. The next thing I can do is add another capacitor to it, or sorry, our basic capacitor. Once again, let's do our double and our octatic, and there we go. Now we have a fully charged dark axe. It's more efficient this way. Your ability to harvest multiple logs just comes with it. Now the pickaxe, when you upgrade these with your capacitors and your empowering, it adds things to it, like more efficiency, as you can see there, and you can do it more efficient breaking obsidian. And you can begin to charge these up as well. So that's the pickaxe and the dark axe. The Ender is one of my favorite swords. Even if I have a really powerful sword with me, it doesn't do that much damage, this one. It does something very handy. It actually stops Endermen from teleporting. So when this is empowered, it gains an additional damage, so it's actually up to 7. And when you attack Endermen, they cannot teleport once they've been hit once by this sword, and it increases the rate at which they drop Ender Pearls and Skulls. So, and that, I believe the skulls work on all mobs, so it increases the rate at which all mobs drop items. So this is just a great sword to have on you when you come up to fighting Endermen, because it increases the drops, and it stops them from teleporting. Awesome. So that is the armor, and it is the tools, really, from EnderIO, except for this wrench. The Gator wrench works on other mods blocks as well, thermal expansion. I can pick up these things if I want to. Bam. Shift right click, and that's how that works. And this works on conduits. It works on pretty much most of the machines. You're going to want to make one of these when you get into EnderIO. What's different about this wrench, it works very much the same way as, say, the crescent hammer from thermal expansion. What's really different about this wrench is if you look in the bottom left-hand corner, there are 5 blocks. The 5 blocks line up to the different types of conduits. Now, one conduit you may see there, you won't see in this yet. I'm hoping and assuming, and I'll explain that in a minute, but if I shift scroll wheel through, you'll see that only 1 block is lit up, and you'll also see that the conduits I'm seeing have changed. This is a great help. So when you're working with these bundles, you can sort of aim and pick just one conduit, but I find that to be very difficult. So what he's added, Crazy Pants has added this way of, I'm assuming it's a he, I may be wrong, sorry about that, but this way to select only certain kinds of conduits. So if I scroll down, I'm on energy, and I can just manipulate these energy conduits. redstone, item, and fluid. And the last one, which isn't actually available right now, you can see it actually skips it and goes right back to all, is ME. And EnderIO for 164, they actually had an ME conduit as well. And that was, in my opinion, I remember playing with the Reclaimer on one of our servers and saying, I hope that one day he makes a thing that allows his conduits to work with ME cables or makes an ME conduit. And I think about 2 weeks later, he came out with this. And it wasn't because of what I said, obviously. That's not what I'm saying. But I wanted an ME conduit so bad from this mod so I could keep everything in one block. And when he did that, it was amazing. Now, at the time, the ME conduits were just ME cables. You had to have them stop in front of the place where you were going to put an export bus or something to them. And that may or may not be the same case if he comes out with them again. I'm really hoping he does. But that's what that last item or preset is on the Yeta wrench. So that is kind of all of the tools we're looking at. We got a couple more of I guess they are tools, but just utility items to look at before we end this episode. And that is the magnet. Pretty self-explanatory. You charge it up. And if you shift right click it while it's in your inventory, it will turn on. And now when I throw things out, you can see it sucks them all back up to me. Can be really handy. It's really easy to make. I cannot find the recipe like that for some reason. There we go. It's just some conductive iron, some electrical steel, and a vibrant crystal. It has to be on your hotbar to function. If it's on and in your backpack area here, not going to work. So again, shift right click to turn that on. The next is the Staff of Traveling. I love this. This is like a blink staff by itself. If I shift right click, I can just whoop, 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 and move around the world. And you can see I've gone fairly far, and that uses energy. So you just got to charge it up in a capacitor or something else, anything with RF power, and you can start hopping around. There is another block in EnderIO that works with this Staff of Traveling. This is dungeon loot as well. You can often find these in chests and things, but I think the rate at which they spawn in chests has been significantly nerfed in the most recent updates because it used to be insane. Where are we here? I am looking for a travel anchor. Where's my... There it is. Travel anchor. Now, the travel anchor is sort of like a teleport block. If I put a couple down and I stand on it, it lights up. If I jump, it moves me to that one. If I jump, I have to be aiming kind of in that direction. Sorry. Yes, I have to be aiming in the general direction. If I jump, it'll move me to the other transport block. And this works at a good distance, to be honest. Let's head out here. This is a great way to move around your base if you have separate buildings and things. And it actually blows up the size of the block. So you don't have to aim at like some little speck off in the distance. What am I saying? Speck off in the distance. You can aim at this silhouette of this orange block. Really, really handy. The Staff of Travel works with these too, except you don't need to be on them. You just need to aim at them and right click, and it'll take you to them. Really, really handy. These don't require power. You just need to have your Staff of Traveling charged up. And that, you just throw it in there, and boom, we got our full Staff of Traveling, and it does last a good amount of time. This is probably one of my favorite items from the mod. I like the end sword, and I love the conduits. They are just amazing. But as far as items go, this is probably my favorite. Now, we've got a couple minutes left. I'd just like to wrap up a couple of the other basic blocks here before we get into the more confusing things for me. One of my other favorite blocks that he added recently is the wireless charger. It does exactly what you think it does. Give it power, and it has no interface, but anything in my inventory that I decide to use here, let's just hop out here. Let's look at this desert village. Sorry about that lag. I realized that lag spike in my game, lag spike in my recording. That was a horrible mistake. Let's get out of here. So sorry, guys. Whew. Look at all that sound waves. Should just come over here or there. Alright. So I've got this guy, and he's taken a bit of charge out. So let's see if I can run over here without it causing... Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. This frame rate thing is driving me crazy. And I know I hate watching videos where they skip frames and everything, and this is doing it too. Let me just turn this off as well. I don't need that on right now. Still skipping frames. Well, let me just... why don't I call it here? I'll show off the wireless charger in a moment. Well, I'll just teleport back. You can see I'm in the range of the wireless charger, and now my Staff of Traveling has charged up. And that's the same with my items as well. They will stay charged via the wireless charger. It's great. I was going to show you one more block, but I'm going to call it and try and figure out where all this lag is coming from on my computer. Once again, I have been Tausty, and you've been watching this mod spotlight on EnderIO from Infinity Labs. And although it says part 2 on the bottom, I'm pretty sure this is part 3. Sorry about that, and I'll get that fixed up for next time. Alright guys, have a good day. Deuces!